As many of you know, this is our most highly hiked park within our King County system, and we are just honored today to have King County Executive Dal Constantine and a local legend in Jim Whittaker here to announce the naming of an important trail within this park. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our executive, Dal Constantine.
Thank you so much, and welcome to Cougar Mountain, and welcome to the 75th anniversary, by the way, of King County Parks, Your Big Backyard. Today, we are honoring two extraordinary men who stood on Earth's highest point and came back as heroes. On May 1st of 1963, Seattle native Jim Whittaker became the first American to summit Mount Everest. His partner on that historic day was Sherpa climber Nawang Gambu, who just a few years later became the first person to stand atop Everest twice. They ran out of oxygen, but they managed to reach the summit. And once there, Mr. Whittaker planted a U.S. flag. And then he was just telling us some harrowing tales of the descent, which had something to do with the lack of oxygen. It took courage, it took perseverance, it took teamwork. It was a half century ago, but their accomplishments on that day will never be dimmed by the passage of time. We are standing on the newly renamed Whittaker Wilderness Peak Trail, which begins at the Jim Whittaker Wilderness Peak Trailhead. This trail winds up through the forest for about 2 miles to the summit of Wilderness Peak, the highest point in Cougar Mountain Regional Wildland Park. After a brisk 10-minute walk up Whittaker Wilderness Peak Trail, hikers will reach the intersection with Nawang Gambu Wilderness Cliffs Trail, a steep 1.5 mile long switchback path that also reaches the peak, reaches Wilderness Peak. 2 trails leading to one destination, and each named for men who conquered so much to attain their goals. Cougar Mountain is the county's most popular hiking destination, a 3,100-acre expanse of forest land with 36 miles of trails, touring wetlands, salmon-bearing streams, and historic mining artifacts. No one will confuse Wilderness Peak or Cougar Mountain Park with Mount Everest in the Himalayas. For starters, there are trees, owing to the slight difference in altitude, 27,300 feet and some change. However, both places have one important feature in common. They both offer escape and inspiration, somewhere to get away from our everyday lives and consider the planet we share. Just about anyone who lives in King County can be on Cougar Mountain, on a trail, within an hour. This great big green and quiet place, as open space advocate and author Harvey Manning once called it, can serve as a springboard for greater adventures. And the people of King County have so strongly supported our stewardship and expansion of these magnificent wilderness resources, voting 70% just a few weeks ago to renew the county parks levy to help keep our parks clean, safe, and open, and growing. My hope is that the tens of thousands, and they're genuinely tens of thousands of people who use the trails here every year, will be reminded of Big Jim Whittaker and Nawang Gambu and their historic achievement. And that by honoring these two pioneers, we are inspiring ourselves and others to attain their goals, whatever they might be. And with that, it is my great honor to introduce to you a truly great American, and far more importantly, a favorite son of West Seattle, Mr. Jim Whittaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Oh, it's so good to be here in the wilderness and enjoying the trees and the wonderful part of this natural planet. I want to talk about Gambu, the prayer flags here. Gambu is a Buddhist. These prayer flags are strung all over the Solokhumbu and up on Everest and to the summit even. And the prayer flags, the symbol is that you have the earth, and the sky, and as they go down, and then there are prayers printed on these flags, so that when they flutter, the prayer goes to heaven. And so these flags are flying all over the Everest region surrounding it. And Gambu was a Buddhist and believed in that, and was a wonderful person. He stood about 5'2". There's pictures of him in my book we could show, but anyway, you know that the Sherpa, the beautiful people, Gambu, we said, was just all lungs. He could, they carry loads at 25,000 feet without bottled oxygen. They're incredible people. They're born at 14, so they're used to. When he comes to climb Mount Rainier, he's walking downhill from his home. It's amazing, and they just go and go and go. So he was a real companion, lifelong friend, and we loved him dearly. Diane and I did lots of things. We brought him over here, got him in the guide service on Mount Rainier. He taught a lot of Americans how to climb. So we're delighted to be here. It's nice, and as you say, Seattle's home. So we're lucky to be out here. We're really blessed to be from the Northwest and to enjoy the forests and the oceans and the rivers and the beaches and everything that we've got. We are really lucky. I might mention briefly coming off the mountain. We were on the summit without bottled oxygen. We ran out of oxygen on the summit. The wind is blowing 50 miles an hour up there. It's 35 below zero. They asked Gambu in New Delhi at our first press conference, what was the first thing you thought of after having reached the highest point of Earth? And Gambu answered for me as well when he said, how to get down. So we had to get off the mountain. We spent 20 minutes, but the thing that 3 weeks later, another team went up, got trapped at the highest bivouac in the world, lost toes, had them chopped off in Kathmandu. We had to carry them out to a Russian ship. So that's a long story, but the story I want to say is we came down carrying out a couple of our team, and one left in the ice up there. Jake was buried in an ice fall. We're coming down out of the death zone where there's not enough oxygen to support life. And so as we're coming down, you can feel the air starting to get warmer and thicker. You can just feel the air kind of thicken. And as we came down, I'm walking on the trail, and the team is kind of stopped ahead of me, grouped around something, and I'm limping down. I've got sore knees from just climbing. And I come up to the group. I said, what is it, guys? And they said, Jim, look at this. Look at this. And I'm looking over them, and some of the guys, their tears running down their cheeks. What is it? And there's a beautiful emerald green blade of grass coming up out of the screen. Just a little blade of grass, and we're still there. Oh my God, look at that. We'd not seen it for 2.5 months. We'd not seen anything growing. Nothing lives up that high. And so we're looking at that. The color just popped out, that green, and we're looking at somebody, look over here, there's another one over here. It was incredible, and we just felt, oh my God, we're coming back to life, where there's life, where things grow, where nature is, where the natural world and wonderful life. We're coming back to people that we love, to the land. So we're all in the whole team, a bunch of tough guys, bawling at about 17,000 feet. And it's just that you realize that we came off, you realize how precious life is, how every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. And so it's nice to be with people that love nature, the outdoors, and And as we say to everyone that I talk to, let's make it a safe and clean world, and let's leave no child inside. No child left inside, okay? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Whittaker. So now I'd like to invite you, Jim Whittaker, to help me officially unveil the trail sign featuring the newly named Whittaker Wilderness Peak Trail and the Nwangambu Wilderness Cliffs Trail.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey!